They just graduated. Woo! Woo! Ryan and Jonny and Brent and lots of other people. A time when Jesus is easily pushed aside and sin is easily accessible. We, as a young generation, are struggling.
We have a race marked out for us that is clear but is often forgotten.
We are struggling to correctly weave Jesus into our lives so that he may light our path.
Refiner's Fire was made to document the struggles and aspirations that young adults go through every day. The difference is, we want to show how Jesus is central in our different journeys by attempting to live out God's Word.
Our men's ministry started by chance when a small group of us started cycling together in the summer of 2013.
Little by little, we began inviting new friends to our weekend rides, and by the end of the summer, we had a full group of 10 inseparable guys.
Eventually, we named ourselves Young Guns Cycling, otherwise known as YGZ.
YGC quickly became something much more than a group of guys getting together to ride on the weekends.
Knowing that we all enjoyed exercising and sharing God's love,
we realized that these commonalities would help to bring us all closer to God.
Friday night Bible studies and community outreach became priorities for us.
We understood we had the ability to show that getting to know Jesus is a fun and rewarding experience.
Although all of us have grown up Adventist and have known about God our whole lives, we still have a long way to go in developing our relationship with Him.
Words can't describe how important this group has been in helping each and every one of us get to where we are today.
That's a huge reason why we all like hanging out together, because everyone has his own relationship with each guy.
Each of us is able to relate, to uplift, and to hold one another accountable.
There are plenty of youth groups out there who are thirsty, who are desperate to find Jesus, and we would like to help as much as we can.
Philippians 3:14 says, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus.
and that's what we want to do. Enjoy the ride.
Looking back, it's always looking back for me. I wish it wasn't, but looking back I can see where God has worked, and just in the progression of my spiritual walk.
So I don't think we have all the answers now, but I'm sure when we need the answers, Jesus will open our eyes and we'll get it.
My job is just to plant seeds and, let the Holy Spirit work from there.
Ultimately, final joy is a direct consequence of choosing God.
Which is given in recognition for demonstrating outstanding potential and promise in the profession of physical therapy. There are 2 recipients this year, Jonathan Brandt and Ryan Galinsky.
But yeah, graduation was fun. Ryan and I were able to get the exact same awards minus a service award for Haiti that Ryan got, which was kind of cool that we got
Could have had it.
one of the bigger awards, the faculty award, which was fun to get together. Family was here for myself, and Ryan's family was here. That was a fun time. It's crazy to think that it's done, and we're going to take the test on Tuesday, and then beyond that.
So the National Physical Therapy Board exam is a exam that allows me to be a licensed physical therapist. So I can't actually treat patients until I'm licensed. Yes, I got my degree, but that just states my level of education. It doesn't actually state that I can treat people yet. So Jonny and I are applying to Loma Linda residency. This is tough for both of us because we both they accept 2 students every year. So God willing, it'll be Jonny and I. But I know that there are many good candidates that, if one of us didn't get in and someone else did, I wouldn't be upset about it. But Jonny and I had a long conversation about this, and I know he'll say the same what I say, that we will both be happy if the other gets in and the one doesn't. It's literally just holding on to the promise in Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the thoughts I think of you, and plans not to harm you, but to prosper you. And if residency isn't for me or not for him, I think we're both okay with that.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Love you, man.
Love you too.
Oh, the audience sounds so much better.
I feel like I changed a lot at the beginning, and I felt some like I feel like I really made some progress. But recently, it doesn't feel like I've had as much. I think partly because whenever you start something new, you know, like you notice all the changes you have like right away, and so it feels like you make a lot of progress. And then like the more you train or the more you do whatever, your gains are a lot smaller. I still am doing my devotions. I'm still doing all that stuff. It's just I've been making more excuses recently for like to spend less time in the Word or less time in my studies, and it's just. It's just things. I feel like it's the normal cycles that you kind of go through, and it's just okay. You gotta find ways to find motivation. I think that I'm questioning or I'm questioning what I hear and questioning what I'm doing, and not just like hearing a sermon that I feel is good or hearing something and just agreeing with it, but just like, okay, well, that was good, and like at face value, yeah, I want to believe or I do agree with what this person is saying, but let me find out, kind of for myself, and just taking more responsibility for who I am, I guess, and spiritually.
I've seen him grow immensely these last couple months. I've kind of digressed a little bit, and it kind of, is inspiring to see him, keep going even though I'm digressing. So, I mean, I really enjoy Jordan. It's been kind of boring, so it's kind of been hanging out on the weekends, not doing much of anything. And that's my life. My life be like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. And so yesterday Brett got in from Africa. Brett Schaefer.
It was so nice to actually sleep in my bed again, just because I've been sleeping in a mud hut for the past month, and it's been really hot. No air conditioning, 90 degrees every night, 100% humidity. So I did a lot of surgeries. I did about 100 surgeries, and I didn't do them myself, but I assisted in 100 surgeries, scrubbed in for all of them. I sutured every case. So the doctor would kind of do their thing. I would help out with that, and then when it was time to close, I would do all the closing, which was really cool. The people of Africa are so genuinely thankful for anything that you bring them, because they have nothing. The entire country is third world. Not Africa entirely, but Chad is completely third world, and unlike anything I've ever been to before. And so going there was definitely very, very, very eye-opening and quite the experience. It was hard. It was the hardest month I've ever lived, for sure. Yeah, I would say I've changed a lot. I'd say I've grown more spiritual. I made a New Year's resolution to start every day with Christ, and so I have. Every day that I get up, I have an app on my phone that is the Bible app, and I just get the verse of the day, and I read that. I always start my day off with that, and that's been amazing. So I start my day off with that, and I start my day off with a prayer, because starting your day off with God is the best way to go about your day. It makes everything better. I've grown a better appreciation for outreach in terms of the fact that I want to do more. I've opened the door now, and now I want to walk through it. James is engaged. I just found out yesterday because I've been in Africa for the last 4 weeks.
And Brett and I went out to eat last night, and I didn't even tell him.
Anyways, I just found out that they're engaged, and I was like, what? That's crazy. I also have a beard, which is pretty awesome, let's be honest. I need to shave it. Commit to it.
Oh, this grass is pokey. I told you.
Where's Caitlin?
Will destroy my knee.
Here. Do we need to be closer? Are you gonna lift this one up?
No. This my left one has a softball raspberry.
Oh, nuggets. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta commit to it.
Don't hurt my tongue.
You guys gotta be really solid.
I'm kidding me, dude? I was a base in high school gymnastics.
Oh, I almost made it.
I'm solid.
Grady.
Oh!
Bad.
Yeah, commit.
Not bad, actually. If I took a really quick picture, it looked like you actually did it.
There seems to be more of a desire to get out and do those kinds of things, and they're experiencing what it is to do selfless service, and with the purpose of not just, I mean, a lot of people want to go out and help other people, and I think, for the most part, their hearts are in the right place. But when you take it, I think it goes to another level when I may never see them again, but if I can just plant a seed, I don't have to know how what result, is gonna be seen. I'll see it, in eternity in the kingdom.
Any Sabbath is a good Sabbath as long as I'm keeping it, right? So.
Word.
Exactly. I guess I've been reading my Bible a little bit more, going through those blueprint things, and really taking my personal spiritual development more serious.
What has changed for me? Well, I mean, number one, I've gotten closer and become better friends with the group of guys for sure. At the start of this thing, I didn't really know any of them because I was just coming into Loma Linda and we had mutual friends. But now I feel like we've developed a really good friendship together, and also like spiritually, I feel that this journey has helped me out a lot too, and just by interacting with the guys in our group, having our Vespers and spiritual conversations, actually seeing God work through our few ministry outreaches, it's been cool for me to kind of dig a little bit deeper in my own spiritual journey. Whenever you're doing something for God, and kind of stepping outside of your comfort zone or whatever, and you're being intentional, I feel like God especially, is going to work through you, and you're going to see things happen. When I look at other guys in my group, I feel like it comes more natural to them. But for me, like anytime you're like going out there and kind of being really forthright with like your faith and about God, it almost puts you in an uncomfortable position because a lot of people have uncomfortable views with that, so you never know what the response you're going to get.
Whoever may see that, you can be, you can be a successful person in a lot of ways, but the main thing is to be, I don't want to say to be a godly person, but to reflect the image of Christ to other people. And I think we do that in some ways. I see Ryan and a lot of all these guys that I hang out with doing it all the time. I see Christ's love through Tucker and Brian and all these guys. So Jonny,
And now after all these Bible studies and Caitlin and I did the AFCO to go, that's definitely switched my mentality to where each interaction that I have with someone, I'm not going to be, hey, you need to believe this, or these are spiritual truths that you need to know. It's just the conversations that I do, even the small conversations with my friends, just to gain trust and confidence in each other. They don't need to just stop there. I mean, they can have so much more meaning if the ultimate goal is to share Jesus with them. But just because that has happened doesn't mean that the rest of my spiritual walk since the last time we did the interview has been all roses and joy and butterflies and everything. It's been somewhat hard. It's been hard. And what I have found that a lot of the hardship comes down to is choice, because it's could start as early as the beginning of the day, where it's okay, either I choose to get going with my day, my worldly day, do what society expects of me, to go to work, exercise, do all this stuff, or I can choose to start my day with spending time in devotions. I don't know if this is on tape, but I'll share it. But what Ryan said on Friday night kind of like went right to my heart, where he said, like, okay, for all you married people, which there's a couple of us, he said, if you wanna be with Jesus, and you need to be with him all the time. It's not something that you do 6 days of the week or 5 days of the week, and the other 2 you're with someone else. It's like me being married to Caitlin, but then saying, okay, I'm going to be with you for 5 days of the week, but on these other 2, I'm going to be with this other girl. Is that okay? It should be okay. I mean, I'm with you for 5. And I mean, our relationship with God, my relationship with God, isn't something that can happen like that. It needs to be, like how I hang out with Caitlin. It's every day I see her.
But Ryan and I probably, not to like, it would definitely be
Just do it.
but it's definitely a God thing, because I mean, we were top of the class still, even with amidst the people who would study all weekend.
Yeah.
So
I don't, for some reason, that like not studying on Sabbath, like, I don't feel like it really hurts you.
no,
Like,
my brother did in law school at a non-private institution, and he's top of his class, and he guarded that day. Like, he was like, I'm not doing any of this law stuff, even when professors would ask him, like, this needs to be done by this day. He's like, no, can't do it.
That's good. I just feel so recharged to do it better.
Yep.
If I take the day.
Tack it Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, do them now, because you've talked about it enough. Like, let's see that happen now. And so I think really like making it a ministry, and I mean, we were always going to be a group of guys just hanging out, but being intentional about making it a ministry has really made it has really made things happen. It's kind of gotten the ball rolling for a lot of these things. The stuff on the trail, being intentional about inviting people to the Bible studies, and all this stuff, like keeping the focus of the group be more than just guys hanging out, which is awesome, but it has just become a lot more than that, which is really cool. At the end of first year med, the students have a month on wards, and we do 2-week rotations. And so getting in a clinic and talking to patients, and to seeing like the hierarchy in a hospital and in a clinical setting. And so the workload has gone down a lot. The amount of studying that I have to do is almost 0, which is great. So my girlfriend came out and visited.
It's so great to see that Tuck has got this great community around him out here, and just everything that the guys are doing, and making it like applying all of these things that like Tuck will be talking about from like their Bible study and stuff, but just being there and getting to know all the people and everything, what it actually looks like out here.
Get back, pagan woman. A lot of the time I'm like, man, like, I just feel like, what am I doing with my life? I don't know, PT, like, I like PT, but I don't know. Like, I just wonder sometimes if it's right for me, or if I should just do something else. There's gotta be more to life. Like, I'm just not like, yes, PT. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm in school and it's not really PT, but being around fulfilled people helps you, I think, seek the same fulfillment. And ultimately, yes, you have to find your fulfillment in God, but most of the time I think that's through His will, and through His will for your life. So, like, for instance, if you're called to be a pastor, you're going to be fulfilled doing one thing, being a pastor. If you're called to do physical therapy, you're going to be fulfilled doing physical therapy. So God fulfills your life in like all these different ways through, in accordance with His will type of thing. That's really how I see it. Basketball was like my big solace, is my hiding place or whatever, for a long time, because I was good at it. People thought I was good at it, and it was fun, And is basketball bad? No, but when you define who you are based on basketball can be a very it'll let you down. You know, I got hurt and now I can't play ball. So if I'd really gone to God first for my self-worth, you avoid a lot of things. You avoid a lot of problems, because up until that point when you finally find God and Jesus, who tell you that they love you regardless of what you've done, regardless of who you are, that they love you no matter what, you just spend your whole life looking for fulfillment. You know, there's just such futility in pursuing everything that the world has to offer, and it's fun. Don't get me wrong. All the youth, like, I've heard sermons all the time, like, you know, it's not really fun, or no, sin's fun. You know, basketball's fun. Getting lost in basketball is fun. But the ultimate point is, it will not fulfill your life. I've tried it, and still the devil tempts all of us every day to get that out of perspective and say, oh, this will make me happy. This will bring me fulfillment. Temporary pleasure is temporary pleasure, but it's still temporary. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your boss tells you. It doesn't matter what your friends think about you, or your enemies think about you. It only matters what God thinks. And when you realize that your self-worth is wrapped up in what God thinks about you, then you can live, and you can live in peace.
Christ's
method alone will go ahead, have true success. And then he talks about what he did. What did Christ do? He sympathized with them.
He sympathized, won their confidence.
Right. I'm trying to help.
Yeah. He met their needs. I'm a little more bold, a little more confident about approaching people I don't know at all, and talking about Jesus, and more. I have a deeper desire now to continue doing that. A few months ago, it was more of a desire. I want to do it, and I want to do it hopefully for the right reasons. Now it's I want to just do it as often as I can. No, I think I've witnessed a greater desire among other guys like myself to do more of that, to actually openly talk about their faith and share that with others. Most importantly, there have been spiritual experiences, people searching, that they're searching for what we had to provide or to offer, searching for the Lord. And so we were there at the right place in the right time.
Nick is the guy, and this happened just yesterday. Believe it or not, Nick is the guy who I look up to because he will stand up and do what's right in every situation. He does not let peer pressure get to him. He literally will be the only one out of the entire group. Everyone was okay with eating on the Sabbath at first, and Nick was the only one who wasn't. And it could have been easy to 10 guys saying, yeah, we're going out to eat, come with us, of his close friends, but he wouldn't do it. He went to be alone and have his own lunch in his room, because he just stood up for what he believed in.
So right now, kind of my burden, my hope, and my prayer is that I can take the place of a very powerful witness in my life, and teaching a Sabbath school class that I once sat in, and John Shin is now leaving Advent Hope, and I want to take over the Adventist Beliefs class that he taught, that was so beneficial to me and so many others that I took the class with. The precious time that we have, the very few precious hours we have each weekend on the Sabbath, that we can all be together and fellowshipping here with the guys, with my friends, my family that's here. It's it's similar in a sense that most of us go to church together at Advent Hope. The ones that don't, we end up getting together afterward with them, whether it's a potluck, Advent Hope potluck, or we have a picnic out at the trail before we do our outreach, or something. And if it's a weekend where we're doing outreach, I love that. There's no better time to do service or outreach or gospel work than on the Sabbath. And that's just that's a way to bond and enjoy the Sabbath blessings with your friends or family. That few other things can do that. One of the neater things I think I've seen a change is more of them wanting to step up and take leadership roles. I'll throw Ryan out there, for example.
I can honestly say a lot has changed since it started. I would sum up the change in a new confidence in my relationship with Christ. Through learning from my friends, through the trials and through all the things that I go through every day, not necessarily physical trials, but mental trials. But I have a new security and understanding about my relationship with Christ. And a relationship with Christ is more tangible than people think. And I should say more tangible than what I thought. Going through the Bible studies and going through some of the fundamental truths of the Bible really illuminate what it means to live Christ practically, because we have tools in the Bible that I've learned to use. I've always felt like I had to find a way to feel close to Christ, but I don't feel like I have to find the way now. I feel like I know the way, and now it's all dependent upon my choices I make. There's something within inside of all of us, I think, that is pure joy that we get. That's the happiness that we are always looking to get. But you don't ever attain it unless it's through a relationship with Christ and following what He designed for you in your life.
We didn't tell our story to show you the correct way to have a relationship with God. We told our story to encourage you to have your own relationship with God.
Through this, we've learned that our walks with God are a continual process, a moment-to-moment, choice-by-choice process.
They have their ups and downs, their victories and their struggles. But through it all, we never give up on God because He never has nor never will give up on us.
In fact, those tough times in our lives are God's working on our characters, weeding out all our selfish, unloving attributes so that we are able to be with Him for eternity. It is His refining process in us.
And each day, through studying His Word, through prayer and fellowship, as we grow to love His character, we welcome these hard times, these trials and even persecutions for His glory.
1 Peter 5:13 says, "But rejoice, inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's sufferings, that, when His glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy."
We want to glorify Christ. We want to make Him first and foremost in our lives, not because we feel obligated to, but because we truly desire to in our innermost hearts and thoughts.
We love Him because He first loved us.
As a group, we encourage one another, and we encourage you to press toward the highest and best prize, that is our Lord Jesus Christ, so that we may all be together in heaven, praising Him for the rest of our days.